Welcome back to the Cinema Cult Network. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Honto.
And we're continuing our Scream coverage with Scream 5, aka Scream 2022, which I'm already going to say right off the bat, I love how they made fun of themselves in this movie for calling it Scream.
Oh, yeah.
For using just the same title as the original.
Which is like they pulled the Halloween move on this
I thought
one.
that was actually...
Wait,
well, okay.
what?
When they go to spoiler alert on everything, actually this might be the quickest we've ever done a movie because I don't even have any box office numbers on this because it's not even been out for 24 hours yet.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it within 24 hours of this time we are recording this.
That's right.
So
do you want me to say the budget and box office?
I got it.
I
Do you
literally
already
just
have
said
it?
what you
Yeah.
just
Okay.
said.
Yes, you did.
All right. We're
All
off
right,
to a
well,
good start.
What do you think the budget was for this? Honto, you already looked it up?
Yeah.
Okay, Matt, what do you think?
125 million.
It was... Matt looked so unsure. The budget was $24 million.
Oh, wow. Hot is Mr. Confident when he knows the numbers now.
Matt, wait,
You're usually right in the same chair as I am when we're like, money? How does that work?
Well, now I've actually looked up the box office and the budget before Chris says it. So
Matt looked like
Oh, really?
MacGruber the way he was like, what?
What do you want me to say?
What did I-
They make movies for cheaper than 125 million now?
Yes, yeah. I think all 5 of these movies together cost like 125 million. So
Really?
yeah, it's like 140 or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
did you already look at the Rotten Tomatoes score?
I have not.
Okay, cool. We can play that game.
Okay.
Honto, what do you think this has on Rotten Tomatoes?
64.
Matt,
75.
76
Okay.
out of 150 plus reviews.
Okay.
So pretty solid for the first 24 hours. I mean, I have so much to say about this movie. I have been up and down since we watched it. You know, I was so eager to talk about this. I completely just skipped over the cast and crew because I was like, I got to talk to somebody
That's fine.
about this.
So I'm not going to go through like what they've been in, but I'll just roll through real quick. Actress and character.
Yeah.
Melissa Barrera as Sam Carpenter, who's now like the new Sydney Prescott.
Yep.
Jenna Ortega as Tara Carpenter, the sister.
Which she is in that new movie we saw the trailer for last night, X.
Oh, is she?
She's the star of that
movie looks very interesting.
That movie
Yeah.
looks kind of cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I would definitely want to see
I'm
it.
excited for
Which
it.
is
I had no clue. I've had no clue about it.
Which is a Ty
about it.
West joint.
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything in a while.
Yeah, the last thing he directed was like 2011 or 2012.
Which
Which
must
might have been your
The
next.
Sacrament, maybe?
Maybe. But yeah, it's been a while.
So Tara Carpenter, and then we got David Arquette as Dewey, Neve Campbell as Sydney Prescott, Courtney Cox as Gail Weathers. Then we have some newcomers, Mason Gooding, son of Cuba Gooding Jr.
No shit.
Chad
really?
Meeks Martin, one of the twins. Then you have Jasmin Savoy Brown. She's awesome on The Leftovers. Then you have Mickey Madison, Amber Freeman, who we know best from previous episode, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes.
Dylan Minnett, Wes Hicks. We've seen him in Don't Breathe and Goosebumps.
Okay.
We got newcomer Jack Quaid, son of Dennis Quaid, and I think
It is Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, Richie Kirsch. He's awesome on The Boys. He's the main character basically on The Boys, the superhero TV show on Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's great on that. Marley Shelton returning from Scream 4 as now I think Sheriff Judy Hicks,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. I liked her in this. I thought she was better in this than she was in 4.
Oh yeah, way better.
And obviously because you lose some of the slapstick humor, but I liked her more as a character in this one.
Yeah. I just don't like the comedic take on the characters.
one?
Yeah, in the other
Yeah.
one. So then we have I think the last person I'll mention is Kyle Gallner, as Vince. He's like the creepy boyfriend.
Yeah.
I've seen him in a few things. We saw him in Jennifer's Body. He's one of the victims.
Oh, is he
I
not?
think the
Okay.
guy at the
Okay.
piercings.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. When we
And then-
just watched Jennifer's Body a couple months ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is surprisingly good.
Yeah.
And then he's also in the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes. A fun fact, the guy who plays Chad, one of the twins.
Yeah.
When he auditioned, he told whoever he auditioned for how big of a fan he was of the Scream franchise, that he wrote like a huge Scream essay in college, or it might have been in high school, about his love for the franchise. And then the people hiring are like, well, can we see it? And he's like, yeah, I'll bring it in. And they read it and they're like, all right, we want you to be part of this movie.
Cool.
So I thought that was really
That's
cool,
really cool.
that he has like a history with it.
That's always
Yeah.
like fun hearing people that are fans. Like I think either David Tennant or Matt Smith from Doctor Who like was an avid fan growing up, and it's like he gets to become the Doctor, and it's like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, it's always like a fun thing. We have returning from Scream 3, Heather Matarazzo as Martha Meeks, the sister of Randy.
Yes.
Yeah, which I thought was a cool
Which is a
addition.
pretty good addition.
Yeah.
And then
There was audible gasps in the theater that
oh,
we
did
saw.
you? I didn't hear any.
Yeah, there was like a crowd
when-
of like 7 or 8 people who were jacked that she was in this.
Yeah.
Cool.
Even though like I have nothing against her character, but she's in Scream 3 for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, she's only in for
It's
like
very
3 minutes.
brief thing.
Maybe they're from Devil's Advocate. Maybe they're like, oh wow, her. She's in the beginning of you
Yes,
saw
yeah,
her,
I just
right?
watched it, yeah.
yeah.
Big Hostile 2 fans.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh.
I think she's the main character in Princess Diaries as well, actually.
She is the friend of
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
But
I think the biggest surprise I'll mention, Skeet Ulrich is Billy Loomis.
yeah, what did you
CGI Skeet Ulrich.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Was
it
it
took me a
CGI?
second.
He looks CGI.
I think it was to make him look younger.
Yeah, to make him look.
But
younger.
Which makes sense because, like, dude, the gap between
It's 25
4
years.
Yeah.
I know, but the gap between 4 and 5, how old some of these actors look just in that 10 years.
It's like, Dad, why do you look so?
Yeah. So it's like for him to reprise his
Yeah.
role as like, hey, can you play a teenager at 53 years old?
Yeah.
It looked good. I thought it looked fun. Did you like the whole Skeet Ulrich thing with him like
It was
talking?
Back and forth.
It was interesting because the only time they've ever really done this is with the ghost that shows up. I think the mom from Scream 3.
Yeah.
It's like the only
Oh,
time they've
yeah,
ever done
yeah.
any sort of supernatural
Kind of, yeah.
aspect where somebody's seeing a figment of their imagination.
I kind of caught it on like that she is like psychologically unhinged.
I think that's what they're because she was taking pills, but it's like the first time
Yeah.
you see somebody that's like in a different world,
Yeah.
quote
But
unquote.
it's like doesn't make any sense because he's like he looks the way he
Does
does
when he died?
when he dies.
Yeah.
That it's like yeah, but she doesn't know that.
She was,
Maybe, yeah.
she was like a year older when that happened.
Not even.
Yeah.
Not even.
Okay.
Because he said that, or she said that her dad got her mom pregnant that year. So
I guess spoiler because we haven't really said it, right?
No, but I feel like it's assumed if we're talking about Scream 5
Yeah.
that it's going to be heavy on the spoilers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
heavy
I
on
mean, I'll have
spoilers.
a disclaimer in the
Yeah.
beginning and the description, but yeah, the main character, spoiler,
Is Billy Loomis's daughter.
yeah,
And she sees her dad in these visions. She only sees him in reflective surfaces a la Candyman. Which I thought was kind of cool. It took me a second to realize she only sees him in mirrors and like the reflections of
in
things.
the rear
Yeah,
view.
you're right.
Yeah.
I thought the movie was going to go a different way, and I thought what was happening was that she was going to be the killer from the get-go, and she was going to be fighting like these urges to kill.
Yeah.
And then it was going to be her covering up her kills. So the whole movie was going to be like, you know who the killer is,
Yeah.
but everybody else doesn't. So you're following the killer this time.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I was a little like in the beginning of this movie, I thought that Ortega is the other girl's name who gets attacked in the very beginning.
Tara.
Ortega, right?
Jenna Ortega.
Or Jenna Ortega.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her name, the character name's Tara.
Yeah.
That both her and the other girl are sisters. I thought they were going to be Neve Campbell's kids.
Okay.
Like for the first like half an hour in this movie.
I did too, but then I was like, that wouldn't make any sense.
because she looks so not the main girl, but
The sister. The
sister that gets attacked in the beginning. She looks so much like Neve Campbell. It's weird.
Oh, I
Yeah.
could see it for sure.
It's really weird. Where I was watching, I was like, that I didn't know who she was. And I was like, is that Neve Campbell's like actual daughter? Because like her like even like the way she like just looks, but like the way she's like
like the
her
main
line delivery and
yeah.
her eyes and everything. And I was like, man, she looks just like Neve Campbell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually thought, I know this podcast is going to be all over the place.
Yes.
I actually thought they were going to bring Stu back because there's been a lot of talk on the communities, and like even Matthew Lillard's like, I know how they can bring me back. And so I really thought at some point.
Yeah. You told me that a couple months ago.
Can
Yeah.
you imagine some of the stuff that if this is the daughter of Stu, from which is Matthew Lillard,
Yeah.
just some of the stuff he was doing in that first movie in the reflection, like doing like the reflection, like come on,
Giza.
yeah, I know what he's talking about. Where he comes out of the nowhere and then yeah, it's just kind of like imagine that character being like the one that reflection. I can take that movie seriously if that was the case.
I like that idea.
I'm laughing so hard just thinking about it. I'm gonna give it like 100% if they did that route. Like, this is the funniest movie ever made. Oh man.
Okay, I will talk about something that they did bring back.
Real quick on the topic of the dad.
Yeah.
I saw this as a total. I don't know how well you guys remember this movie because I've only seen it once. I thought
Scream 5?
No, Rise of Skywalker. I thought they were doing like an Emperor Palpatine where it's like, oh, it's the daughter of Palpatine. You know, it's the daughter of the main villain from the first movie.
I was getting major Star Wars vibes watching
They mentioned in this movie. They mentioned the requel movies.
Yeah, I mean, and to the point they kill off a major character.
Yeah.
There's characters that are related to the original legacy characters,
which I thought was really cool. I love the Randy connection.
Definitely an interesting way to bring it.
I love the Randy connection.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
These two characters are my favorite characters in the whole movie.
They're great.
Oh, they were great.
And same with Ortega.
A lot of these characters, Sheriff Hicks's son.
Yeah,
I liked him.
Yeah.
I thought he was a cool character because he was like the prepared one.
Yeah.
And he was like smart about it, which I thought was cool.
The only one that was a waste of time was the girl that one of the twins is dating.
Which was
I think she has red hair. Like she has red hair. She gets shot in the head.
She's literally a red herring in the entire movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
To the point where she had the red hair.
But they don't really do much with her, and she has like not much going on. Like, and it's not against the act or anything like that. I just think it's just a writing standpoint. Like she doesn't have much.
But I think that's part of supposed to be the thing is they don't show her a lot.
Yeah.
So then you're like, oh, it's got to be.
I mean, they did. I was actually kind of having fun with like the whole like, well, maybe you're the killer. No, I'm the killer. Blah blah. And they kind of do that with this character.
Yeah.
The red herring, if you will.
Yeah.
Where she's like acting all crazy, like she's like kind of threatening one of the twins. At one point.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting.
But no, to say, speaking of characters we thought were dead that were brought back that you'd even know, Kirby's in this one. And so to an extent, I did not catch this. I think this is so clever. So at one point, I think it's when everybody's at the house at the Meeks residence. Okay. And they pull up a YouTube thing. On the side of the YouTube thing, it says recommended videos. And it says Soul Woodsboro survival Kirby speaks to the press.
No,
and it's a picture of her. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
And score just went up.
Yeah.
I thought that was such a cool little thing that they threw.
That is really
score
awesome.
Just went up.
What a bummer she's not in this movie.
But still, what a cool little thing to throw in.
If they do like more movies after this, which I think they may be able to do.
I think it's done.
I think so?
Yeah, I think they went.
We'll see. If this one's super successful, because I think it's the last one. Would you say the number 4 is a bomb?
Yeah, it was.
I think it was a bomb, right?
It was a bomb,
but it's still made over its butt.
A little bit, but this one
terminology.
This one they're expecting to make 40 million opening weekend, which is like what Ghostbusters did and everything. They expect this to be pretty huge, actually.
So if it does make a lot of money, they're gonna like.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be done. I do
think
it's
supposed to be a reboot.
Yeah,
and they make that several times over. It's a reboot.
This is gonna be dumb for me to say this, but I would still watch more of these movies.
I would too, but I think this is it, and I think it's a good way to end it off as well.
I don't need like the original core cast.
Yeah, I think that's I feel like their presence in this movie is purely to pass the torch.
Yes, because I feel like they don't have anything to do in this movie. All 3 of them.
Yeah,
like
no.
Neve Campbell.
Hell, they don't even show up until like an hour into the movie.
Yeah, and they kind of just run around, and that's it. They don't really serve a purpose. But if they were to do more, I can't imagine they would do them with Billy's daughter.
Yeah.
Skeeter's daughter. Because like I just don't see why.
Or if anything,
dude, bring the Lucas twins back, man. Like,
right? Dude, and we talked about
the Lucas twins from Jump Street.
Oh,
is that what they were? The Lucas twins.
Coke.
Yeah, I could see the twins.
The twins are awesome.
Yeah, the twins are easily one of the best parts of this movie.
And we talked about like characters that can pull off the dialogue, because the dialogue does get clunky. Because like sometimes when they're doing these movie references, I've realized what it is. When they talk about movies references, they talk about it like they just like, sometimes the actors can't pull it off as if they just heard about this movie right before they shot the scene.
Yeah.
And they're like supposed to be like, but what about the movie The Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Yeah. What about that one part with the chainsaws?
Yeah.
And it sounds like so like, I feel like you just found this information a minute ago, and they can't pull it off.
And like what you said, like with like Kirby and 4,
yes,
when they're like one of the guys asked, he's like, "Who's the first person to play Leatherface?" It's like Gunnar Hansen.
Yeah.
It
And
comes
I
off
feel like
natural.
she
Yeah.
knows who Gunnar Hansen is.
Yeah.
Like,
No, but this actress is great. One of the twins, Jasmin Savoy Brown.
where I was watching a video on it, and they're like, "Yeah, she's blowing up," but I have not seen her in anything.
She's
Oh, what else
awesome.
is she in?
She's awesome in The Leftovers. She's in season 2 and 3.
Okay.
But I'm watching her currently in Yellow Jackets. She's one of the main
Oh.
characters.
What's Yellow Jackets?
It's a show with Christina Ricci where they the group of
Okay.
soccer players, they crash land
Okay.
on the island, or they crash land in the middle of the wilderness, and then it's like jumping back and forth, like
They have to
them-
like survive in
yeah.
the wilderness.
but it's like
Okay.
concurrent where it's like them in the wilderness trying to survive, but then they also exist as adults. So it's like them after.
like
That's
it's all
cool.
looking back.
Yeah,
Right?
so it's like jumping back and
That's
forth.
pretty cool.
And
Okay.
meanwhile, like there's some weird stuff happening. So they like classify it as like a thriller horror,
Yeah.
but you're trying to figure out if it's like psychological yet, or if it's like actually like a horror, like with paranormal and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's
It looks
doing-
cool.
It
Doing a
sounds
good job,
cool.
but like Juliette Lewis is one of the adults.
Cool.
Christina Ricci. I think one of the actresses, it's the older version of this actress, Jasmin.
Okay.
She's, I think, was in Heroes for a couple seasons. And then who else do you got? A couple other people that
That's
you've
cool.
seen, but
That's
yeah,
cool.
it's
Okay.
just it's cool. Like the way they got the actresses to portray the younger versions versus the adults. It's like all very believable. It's
Yeah.
like, oh wow, like they look pretty similar.
That sounds cool.
So
Speaking of Christina Ricci, actually, I meant to bring this up when we recorded for. She had originally auditioned to play Hicks.
oh, interesting.
Really?
Yeah, which I think I don't. That's what I read, but I think it's weird with her tie with Wes Craven that she didn't actually get it, or
Okay.
if that even happened at
Mhm.
all. Another tie-in with the original, which I think is cool, is when we meet David Arquette and he's in his trailer.
Yeah,
He has Tatum's ashes.
I saw that.
I did not catch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really neat. Because he never talks
Oh,
about Tatum
really?
throughout the whole series.
Yeah.
And I guess in 3 or 4, they filmed a scene where he's talking about it. Actually, it might have been 4, because in 4, doesn't one of the victims crawl out and then the garage like starts?
In 4.
It's the
yeah.
first
Yeah, I think-
one. Yeah, the first. The
If I'm telling this correctly, like Dewey sees it and then he was like, "Oh, it's how my sister died," and he gets kind of
Yeah.
emotional about it. But yeah, he never mentions Tatum throughout this whole series.
okay.
And
How
I'm
did
glad.
your sister die? Oh, her head got stuck in a doggy door, and the door went all the way up and crushed her head against the house.
That can
My
happen.
God.
My lord.
That can
The
happen.
door
No.
can support her weight. It was a really good door.
The only Easter egg I caught in this whole movie, and I was proud of this when I woke up at 3:00 in the morning and I was like, "Oh, I know what that was." Sid is married to Patrick Dempsey from 3.
Ah,
Really?
Yeah, because she,
Marcus or something.
Mark.
Mark.
yeah, because Dewey's like, "How's Mark doing?" And she's like, "Oh, he's good, blah blah."
Oh.
And I looked at it, I was like, "I think that's Kincaid from 3, and it's Mark Kincaid."
That's
Oh.
really
So
cool.
it has to be. I mean, I can't imagine.
Yeah. That's definitely on the money.
Yeah, so I thought that was a really cool cameo. I don't know if there were any other big ones. I thought the whole when they pulled up the listing for the Stab movies, and you saw like David Schwimmer and like
I
Yeah.
didn't catch any of this.
yeah, what
Who's playing Randy in the Scream 1?
oh man, that was hysterical. I have no idea.
That's new.
That guy was
That's new.
That was new,
That was new.
but-
It was awesome.
Because they
It was
Yes.
we
great.
just did 4 and 4 recycles footage from the fake movie from 2.
Yes,
Yeah.
From
yes,
the first Stab movie
Yeah.
because it's like
Yeah.
Heather Graham.
yes. This is all
And it's-
actual film things.
And then didn't Robert Rodriguez actually direct that movie within a movie?
He did, yeah. So that's like legit real.
Yeah, so that's legit.
Well, speaking of fake movies, dude, we all lost it in the theater when it showed like Stab 8 and he had like nunchucks and a metal
Yeah,
like
he had a
metallic
flame-
face.
He had a flamethrower at one point, I think, right?
Dude, yeah.
And
And I was
like, yeah, it was like, oh, is that the one where he uses the flamethrower and it like cuts and he's like,
Oh, and did you see who was hosting that video?
no.
They do that Dead Meat channel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember seeing the trailer for this movie. I only watched the initial trailer, and they showed like the Scream with a metallic face, and I was like, "Why does Scream have a different face?" And I was like, "I'll go into it with an open mind." And then when they showed that whole like
Gosh,
making
man,
fun of,
I wish there was a whole trailer about that movie for this movie. and it was in theaters, and you're like, what the hell are they doing with Ghostface? And it's him with the flames.
Because I
just feel like,
think they
just
make
to troll people.
Oh my
like,
god!
I think they make the joke. He's like, yeah, and Stab 8's the one that goes off the rails, or like whatever goes off the rails, and you see that clip where it's like the nunchuck's like,
Yeah.
you're like, what is happening?
Well, they even talk about in 4. One of the girls is like, yeah, the first like 7 are good, and then they get into time travel. And it's kinda
time
stupid.
travel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
travel number 5. It's really stupid.
I love how much they go into like the sequel.
How they-
like,
yeah. One of the things too, I thought this is a sly little reference, and only just because I just watched 4. But Hicks had a note on her refrigerator for her son, and it said lemon squares are in the
fridge.
in the fridge, which is a little tie into 4, which I thought
That's
was
cool.
kind of a cool
Oh,
thing.
interesting.
The only thing I miss, and I think I just didn't hear it right.
Wait, 1 second.
Okay, all right. What you got?
Does Deputy Hicks have a son in Scream 4?
We don't know.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything that shows that she didn't have a son.
True. No, it's just found it kind of weird that you
Just
just
doing the math.
yeah.
Yeah,
it's
because
like a
they're all of a
10-year.
sudden this kid's like 18, but that was 10 years ago.
Basically,
and-
11. I think 11 years has passed by or whatever.
Yeah.
Unless they're doing like a Friday the 13th time jump where.
Well, no, I mean,
this
this is 10 years later, so she can have a 6-year or 7-year-old at this. You know, when
I wasn't sure if they made reference or anything.
No,
like
but I like they're gonna go digitally enhance it and throw in a one-liner.
But that also,
about,
that also might be why like he doesn't have a dad.
okay,
Because she's hitting on Dewey really hardcore in the 4th one.
that's
Sure,
true.
yeah.
So
Okay.
even though they probably didn't plan for her to have a kid in that one.
no,
but-
they didn't.
yeah.
But they could sit there and say like, divorced. She has a kid.
Yes. Another thing that I thought was cool was, I guess Kevin Williamson got most of his crew that shot Dawson's Creek to be a part of this movie.
Okay.
Oh,
And so
that's
when he got
cool.
on set, he was like, yeah, it was like this huge reunion of these people I hadn't seen in years.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got to bring that up to the Dawson's Creek episode that they show that
I
characters. are
literally just
watching.
watched this.
Yeah, and it's the Kevin Williamson written horror one that we bring up on the podcast every now and
Yeah,
then.
where they're all like,
This is the first I'm hearing of it.
Really? We
Yeah.
talk about like with the urban legend, it's like
Can't remember.
like the power goes out at the house, and so they all get the house together, and there's a killer out in the loose.
yeah.
So, which is very like,
Nice.
which I thought was really cool. I don't think I have any other things. I do have a question though, and my question was,
Would you watch this movie again?
who was okay? The guy that was killed in like the alleyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was he related to
That's
Stu?
apparently the nephew of Stu.
Okay, it was Stu's nephew. I
Yeah.
heard
Yeah,
Stu,
yeah.
but I didn't hear
Yeah.
how he was related.
It
to
was
Stu.
real like super brief.
Yeah.
They say like
boxer brief.
his uncle.
Man.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was good. That was really good. That was good.
Like Honto agreed with me. Like
Yeah. Yeah. What?
yeah.
I had read a few things just going on like Reddit forums, and people were like, yeah, this death felt really pushed in, like they just needed someone to die at that point. But I mean, whatever, I guess
Yeah.
at that point then you could just say any killing is just a killing just to
Right.
happen.
Okay, so spoiler alert, one of the killers is a girl. This because the way this guy gets killed really quick because she
This
they
is
go up
actually,
right
like-
behind him and just stab him.
This
real
is
quick
like
in the back
actually
of the
pretty
throat.
brutal.
It's brutal, and I like this because we talk about the physicality of the characters. Where
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, it makes sense.
yeah.
She's not gonna like choke slam like
Yeah,
Stone
which they
Cold
do
Steve
several
Austin.
times over.
Which is the
and
mom.
then-
The mom kills Randy in that second movie. She's like, "Yeah, I'm so sorry I had to kill Randy," and they're like, "Wait, what?" Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but nothing's
90
ever gonna top Rebecca Gayheart in Urban Legend.
oh, I mean, like, well, outside
Yes.
of this
but I'm
franchise,
just saying,
yeah.
just in general, if we're gonna be like,
Yeah.
but yes, I agree with you.
But so it's like that. I think that's really kind of cool where it's like that quick, clever kill because
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna try to fist fight him or scare him and chase him around. It's
Yeah.
so that's probably her that did that one,
yeah, I agree.
But it doesn't even matter too because some of these guys are super tiny too as well. Like we just talked about 4. Like those killers are both at the end of
teenagers.
4, they're teenagers and neither one of them looks like they had the build to take on anybody.
Yeah.
And
Unless it's Rory Culkin doing all of the killing.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe.
But yeah, even
guy
he
is
doesn't
as-
look
That
like.
guy is as tiny as I was in high school.
No offense, Rory Culkin, but
Yeah.
I don't think you're picking up anybody.
No. So it's seeing the physicality kind of that makes sense where it's the quick stab in
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
throat and
and
walk
that's
away.
it. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
think there's
that's really
any
cool.
other stabs. It's just that and just bleeds out.
Knowing too the guy's probably an asshole and he's not gonna run. He's not gonna be like, oh no, somebody's chasing me, and then
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Dude, this is the most brutal Scream movie.
yes.
Wow.
in
I was
so many aspects.
surprised.
Let's get the negative out of the way because this movie is divided into two parts. When we got out of the movie, Matt told me, he was like, yeah, I wasn't digging the first half, but I really liked the second half. It picked up. Well, I'm the opposite. I think. I don't even know at this point. I'm still trying to process it. But the Dewey killing really messed me up because, I mean, Dewey's such a great character and he's like the heart of the franchise, I feel like.
Were you having flashbacks to when Randy died in Scream 2?
I thought about that actually.
Yeah.
No, I was having flashbacks to every other time that Dewey was stabbed in a movie.
Oh, right.
Right.
Yeah, 9 times.
I was at this point in the franchise and how many times he had been stabbed, I was like, he'll pull through.
Dude, no kidding. For like for the rest of the movie, from him like quote unquote dying, I thought he was still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until he did a close up of his eyes, I was like, nah, he's dead.
Well, no, they show him, and then they show a body coming out of the hospital in a bag, and I was like, that could be the other cop that was killed in that scene, right? And then they never really say that he's dead. They just kind of say like, let's do it for Dewey.
Did you see what happened to him though?
No, I get it, dude. I get it. But he's also gotten stabbed 9 times.
He got skewered and then lifted and then sliced, like basically eviscerated upwards.
I think honestly, the reason why I don't like it is I think he goes out in a really dumb way.
Oh yeah. It's like, because he's like, I got to do this. And
and it's like, okay, first off, once again, bringing logic into the movies. He's a cop. Outside of like anybody who has firearm training, maybe Neve Campbell in this movie.
Okay.
Everybody else in this movie is a crack shot with the head kills. Even the girl that's like all broken up is able to get a headshot from down the hallway in The Last Killer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, and Dewey couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And he was like more than like 4 feet away from this guy.
Yeah. Well, gal.
Or gal or guy.
It was her. She
it's
said
gal.
it.
She
said
it
was her.
Yeah.
But like he couldn't get a headshot that far away, and he's probably the only person who's probably shot a gun more
Dudes
times
actually
than anybody.
could get there.
Yeah, that's why you just reload real quick and then do it.
Yeah.
And then walk up and then figure out,
Well, what bummed me out about this whole thing was that they bring Dewey back and it was like, yeah, they made me retire. I'm an alcoholic and I don't have Gail.
My life is shit.
And then he dies and you're like, oh man, I don't want Dewey to go out that way.
Who would you have gotten rid of instead? Because somebody has to die. I
know.
Why I was okay with it. Like it didn't bring it. It wasn't shocking because I was like, okay, at this point, one of these people has to die.
You keep Dewey's death, but the fiance brought this up, and I thought this was a really good point. And she goes, "It would have been a lot cooler if he had done it protecting Gail."
Yes,
and that would have been awesome. That would have been like, oh man, that's his heroic death he went out on.
It's stupid because you know he's going,
and it's
that's
as soon as he's like, you got to shoot him in the head, and so, which is such a shame because. And 2 of the coolest moments in the Scream franchise happened just a second before here. You have the Ghostface pressing that thing on his neck that activates so he can talk like that.
Yeah, it's a
I think it's awesome. I think it's so cool.
I actually dug it a lot.
And then the way David Arquette walks out of the elevator and empties his gun, and like you see like the empty shells falling on the floor.
That's really cool.
He looked like such a badass right here. I was like, oh man, I was like, that is the coolest I've ever seen Dewey. And then
it should have totally just been like hold on 1 second, and then just puts his arm out, puts the other arm aiming.
I can get it from here.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, he doesn't need to get that close.
Yeah.
But like they said, they had to kill off a main character to show that anything's at stake.
So who would you rather go besides Dewey?
Gail. I don't know.
Gail's the one
because they could have been like the voice being like, we don't need your stories to keep us keep us famous. Like
you're the story now.
Yeah. Now you're a part of the history.
I think honestly why I would want Gail more is they're never going to kill off Neve Campbell.
I feel like they probably wouldn't.
But like I feel like because Courteney Cox is probably the biggest of the 3 as far as acting goes.
Yeah.
She would be the one that would you would be surprised by the most that would get it because you'd be like, oh my god, they killed off somebody who's who's extra you know what I mean? Because like they're all famous, but like Courteney Cox is
she's got
she's got friends money,
multi-millions per episode.
So it'd be a surprise if like she went out over Dewey. And I feel like I'm with you. Dewey's the heart of the movie, so it's kind of a bummer.
You kind of lose it now because now it's like we're like relying on the show, the pedestal of these new people to like
pretty much
kind of if they do make more, it's like now we have these people,
and it's kind of the reason why they like when they keep making them, it's like this is why I kind of hate this franchise is that every time they make one, it's like they're so afraid to step outside of the boundaries they made for themselves, that it's like they never end up doing anything new. And it's like they bring in new characters, but they don't continue with the new characters.
Yeah.
You know?
Except for, I mean, they do new stuff. I mean, I feel like killing off Randy was a huge, like,
Yeah, and they haven't
something
really
new.
done anything as big as that until this movie.
yeah.
Like major, or I guess Scream 3. So like, I guess you have Cotton in Scream 3, but
Yeah.
like as far as main character
like a
goes,
shocker, yeah.
yeah, it's Scream
And then
2.
if you're going to continue with characters, I thought it was really cool they brought Hicks back. They could have,
Yeah,
I mean,
I think it was cool.
yeah, they could have ignored 4 and then just been like, oh yeah, we'll just bring the original from the first one. And I think that
Mhm.
was really cool they did
No,
that.
I thought it was good.
But yeah, after this whole David Arquette thing, or Dewey getting killed, I was kind of like numb for a few minutes. I was like, oh man, I was like, this is a bummer. Like it
Yeah,
really like bummed me out.
It did bum me out.
I do like this movie. I'm saying it ruined the movie, but it did take me out. But I thought there was a lot of great stuff. I mean, like I said, I think the deaths. Okay, there was the one scene with when they're at Hicks's place.
Yeah,
And
I
they
didn't even
had-
notice until it was like almost done. I was like, oh god,
What actually with the knife going
Yeah.
through? That was brutal.
That
man.
was
you actually
that's
see it.
the most brutal kill in any of the movies.
Yeah,
I'm
that
trying
was
to think of it if it is or not.
I think it is. I think
It's
of
up
all
there.
because they're
Because you
all
see
just-
like the texture of the skin.
yeah, like pop.
Yeah, it's like outward and it's like kind of moving around and stuff. And
Yeah.
you're like,
it was like a minute shot of it happening. I was like,
basically what
this
happened is the knife slowly goes into the neck and it comes out the other and you see everything.
It's
yeah, and
brutal.
it's like moving.
Yeah,
in
that's
the
what I'm saying.
throat,
Yeah, it's
too.
like moving around and then he dies.
Yeah, it was very brutal. It was
Which is
very
kind of
real.
a ballsy move to kill off the mother and the son in like one
Dude,
scene.
her getting killed in the daytime was a nice surprise. Just because,
Yes.
like,
It
I was like,
was.
all right, she's in the house and find him, and then like you don't even have time. Boom, he's right there. And
But
I
at
was
the
like,
same
oh,
time,
wow.
where are all these people in this town?
Yeah, I was thinking that
Because
too.
like the cop car's out there, obviously. She like all these cars swerved while she was getting over there.
yeah,
And she called the APB or whatever on going to the house. And yeah, it was kind of surprising. Like, you
I
just-
agree.
And then I
agree.
really liked, at the very end, I really liked that the main girl kills the killer.
That was
Because-
brutal.
And it was brutal because she keeps stabbing him in the stomach.
Oh, yeah, because it's the ghost of Billy Loomis saying, do it.
Do it. Yeah.
Well,
it's
and then
like-
her line too is like,
Which I thought was really
you
cool.
gotta shoot him in the head?
What a cool
no,
way
her
where
line,
it's like,
she's like stabbing. She's like, yeah, she's like, you're forgetting something. And she's like, and I'm gonna butcher this line, but she's like, yeah, you're messing with the daughter of a
Oh.
serial killer or something like that.
Yeah, because he's like, he gets stabbed a bunch. He's like, what about my ending?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I forgot I'm the daughter of a serial killer or whatever. And they're
yeah,
like,
it's
"Ooh."
brutal, man.
yeah, I really liked it though because I was like, oh yeah, good on them to like for her to like really take out one of these guys that's killed all these
Yeah.
people. Like,
Yeah.
But it's weird though because you're kind of watching this and like I don't know. Are they trying to tell you like this girl's?
That's what I thought.
You're like, are we rooting
Evil-
for this girl?
evil, evil
it's-
Scream Queen.
I think it's like a Dexter situation.
That's what I think.
Oh, that's okay. I can see
That's
that.
what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
can
like
see that.
because by the end of the movie, she's like giving a
She-
thumbs up to that mirror, and like I'm
And
sure
the-
there's
and the-
people that are like
and the
looking
Billy,
yeah.
the Billy Loomis is also giving a thumbs up.
Yeah, and I'm sure people are like looking around, like, what the hell is she doing? She's just looking at this car mirror, just giving herself a thumbs
It's
up.
like it's like Quantum Leap. He gives a thumbs up and finally leaps out.
I think she cried.
Billy Loomis can finally go home.
Stu's his
Ow!
his
Yeah.
owl.
It's time to giz out and giz out. Hold on, let me ask Ziggy. Oh man, you got a 95% odds.
Damn, I was gonna think of a quote from the first movie. I can't think of it now, but that was good. That was a good bit.
I thought the whole thing in the house at the end was really good because
Yes.
there were so many unexpected
it's
things.
actually a really cool set piece because it's like it's almost like it felt like a video game to me for some reason.
yeah.
Because it's like in this game you go to this place and then another game you go to it, but it's like now other areas are unlocked and the other parts are locked now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you're like seeing the basement of
Yeah. That's a
of,
really good way of putting
the
it.
house
Yeah.
instead of like the garage or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're seeing kind of like these new areas.
It was cool because when the twin, I think it was the twin, she was going down to the basement.
Yes.
I thought she was going to the garage and the light wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, you said you're like, oh, we're in a basement. Like, oh yeah, we've never seen this. This is
Yeah.
really
Oh,
neat.
yeah.
Which I think it's actually the one of the killers, Amber.
Yeah.
She goes to get the beer,
Yeah.
and then one of the twins shows up behind her, like,
Which is a cool scene too, because like even that scene where the twin was like, because I'm the killer.
yeah,
And then you're kind of like, I feel like usually I can catch on with this dialogue, but I'm like, wait, is she really telling me that she's the killer?
I actually legitimately felt tension
Yeah,
between
right?
this scene and the part where the twin gets confronted by the girlfriend of her brother, where she's
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna kill you or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
I was feeling the tension because at this point they're really trying to like, make everybody a red herring at this point, which is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, I really did like the humor in the movie too.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of jokes where I was like,
I was cracking up.
audibly laughing at.
Yeah.
Audibly, yeah. Like at the end when the girl's going to the hospital and she's like, "Can we go to a different hospital?"
Yeah, it's
I
good.
thought that was
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah.
I'll tell you who had a lot of good one-liners was the boyfriend.
Yeah, which is the
who ended up being Mr. Joshua Jackson. Do you not remind you of Joshua Jackson?
Yes.
Oh,
he
is this
did.
Jack Quaid?
Yeah.
He's awesome. I mean, he's like great.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's awesome.
Yeah.
He had some great one-liners. Like, I don't know, every time he
Like
was
when
on screen,
when he breaks up the party, like he tells
yeah,
everybody at the party to
Yeah.
go home. And
Dude,
it's like,
when he had the interaction with the twin, and he's like, "All right," he's like, "I'll be right back," and she's like, "Oh," and he's like, "Oh," and he's like, "He's dead." And like
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
whole like,
Yeah.
yeah, I really thought out of a majority of these, the cast, the supporting cast is really good.
Yes.
And I know we've already kind of brought that
Yes.
up, but I kind of like the supporting cast. Like, okay, even in 3, for instance, while we're not huge fans of it, I like Parker Posey in that.
Yeah,
I
she's
like,
fine.
oh yeah,
yeah.
dude, I forgot about the cast in 3 because I think there were a bunch of fillers. Like they're just there to get killed.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're basically surrogates for the main cast, basically.
Yeah, and I
that's
feel
it.
like 4 does a better job with the cast.
I think so. They
I
give
think
more
the cast is good
personality.
in this,
more personality in 4. But yeah, I like the cast a lot in this one.
Here's my only negative. I got a few negatives about the movie.
Yeah, go for it.
I even though I just watched it less than 24 hours ago, I can't even remember what the motivation was behind the killers.
I think it's to get famous.
Is it?
I think that's literally it.
I don't.
Am I wrong about
remember-
that?
I don't remember. I don't know. I don't think it's fame.
I'm trying to play the whole like ending out again
know.
inside.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I know, and I love how that I brought it up to you guys, and neither one of you guys was like, "Oh, it was
I'm trying
this."
to. Okay, here's the
Like,
thing. I'm legit like watching 4 and 5 back to back. I get confused because
I just watched 4. That's why I'm
4
confused.
is about the remakes and this one's about the threequels, and so it gets kind of muddled on who was saying what. I know Honto's pulling it up right now, but while we're talking about that, hence the threequels thing, the whole scene where they're talking about threequels with in Randy's house, I thought was some of the best dialogue I've seen in one of these movies in a while. Like everything they were
Yeah.
talking about with modern horror movies, and it was just cool too because they were bringing up movies like and not just in this scene, but like here in Babadook and Hereditary.
Yeah, elevated horror.
Yeah, all these like horror movies brought up in this movie. It was really cool. And then I'm talking about I think they brought up like Halloween 2018,
Yeah.
Candyman.
Well, and it's weird too because this movie we just watched Matrix this
Yeah.
month too.
yeah,
Both of them kind of have the same plot.
they do. They're so super meta. It's insane.
Yeah, and they're both about like reboots and how like I think they both call out their studios like, yeah, we're gonna make it regardless without you. Or,
Yeah.
you know, and
Well, what do you think was more of a meta movie, Matrix or this?
dude, I don't know. That's a
I
good
think
question.
Probably this.
I mean, even with the
But
scene,
Matrix was so like
It was meta for like the first 30 or 40
Yeah.
minutes, and then it kind of just goes
that's
into
true. That's true.
its own movie.
But
this
dude,
one is throughout.
The most meta scene I think I've ever seen in a movie is when the twin was sitting on the couch watching Randy
Oh,
go
yeah.
behind you, and she's like behind
which
you,
is so weird because
and
like
he's
her
like talking to
uncle-
Jamie, going behind you.
Yeah,
and like,
which is weird because it's like
Yeah.
her
oh yeah,
uncle.
I didn't even think about that.
It's
yeah,
her uncle, but it's like a actor portraying her uncle.
yeah,
So it's like a really weird, like, I don't know. It's
yeah.
kinda-
That's actually a really good point. But that's
Um,
about as meta as they can get.
and yeah, I mean we were speaking a lot of positives about this movie. Talking about the first one, because I brought up the first one with the last movie, and we always talk about the first one because it's like
Oh.
seriously unbreakable, right?
Yeah.
But like I feel like too that like I wish this one was a little bit more realistic. I think what really kind of creeps me out about the first one is it has like a pseudo like 60 minutes Dateline story about it.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Where it feels very real, and I wish they would have more of that.
I
Because
agree.
it's like I know these kids are in high school, but there's really no high school for these kids to hang out in.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like school, but there's something about the first Scream movie where I feel like they're kids.
They're in
And it's
class.
disturbing where you're
They're
like-
in class and everything,
Yeah.
and hanging out like on their lunch. They're hanging outside in the school, and they even get an announcement from the school itself, like classes are canceled.
Yeah.
Everyone go home.
It's very much like Clueless, but there's a serial killer in there.
yeah,
You know?
exactly.
But it feels like they're children.
yeah,
Like in that first movie that I'm like, I'm like, oh, that's why it's kind of disturbing because they're all like probably like 16, 17 and they're killing each other and stuff. And
Right.
I feel like the other movies, they all look like they're in their 20s and they don't really go to the schools as much. And
Yeah.
it's not as disturbing because it's like they're adults, you know?
Real quick, plot of the movie ending.
Okay.
Ending.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
Yeah,
ending-
Which I will say for Matt though, it's funny you say it because I think like I could be wrong, but I think like Matthew Lillard was like 25.
Oh,
when he did
yeah,
Scream
yeah,
or something
absolutely.
like
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
but I that's like I think like I don't need it. It's not like disturbing kills. It's more just like the material that's kind of
Yeah.
disturbing. But I think it's
Sure.
like it has that Dateline quality to it.
Yeah.
Where it's like
I
I
have to
feel
go
like
with putting it.
Scream could be a Dateline story, and it'd
Yeah.
be like, yeah,
Yeah. So basically, they're obsessive fans of the Stab series,
Yes,
and
I
they
knew that. yeah.
they're pissed about the trajectory, which is why they're talking about the time travel, and like the series is going downhill. So they're trying to revive the series by creating their own.
wow. You're right. And every time they talk about it, I think they're actually talking about the legit movies and
Yeah.
not the movies within the movies.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's so meta.
But
It's,
you're very right. That is the plot.
So yeah, they're basically their goal is to do another killing spree to kind of like defend fans from toxic fandom, basically.
Yeah,
So
because he even brings it up too. I can't remember what his line is, but he says something about he's like, "What's wrong with liking these movies? It makes us happy." And
Yeah,
like, and even more meta too, because like it's talking about the Scream movies, like
but if
whether people think they're garbage or not. Like, I love the Scream series, and like
yeah,
it makes me happy. I think it's I love these characters and I
Yeah.
love these movies. So I think I think there's so much meta stuff in here. It's insane.
Yeah.
well, if they're fans of the series, they'll know that they're fans of the Stab movies.
yeah,
If they're such fans of the Stab movies, they'll know that like they stopped making any movie based off of Sidney Prescott after 3 because
Yeah.
like she went after him for legal reasons.
Mm.
So how would they like?
They even
couldn't-
say that too. I think they say like, "Oh, Sydney wasn't in the last one." I think they
yeah,
said
the
it,
last
at one
like
point.
well at this point they're like what 8?
Well,
I
they
think-
say she wasn't in the last one, which was 8. So she's in
Okay.
like 7 of them.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so
But,
yeah, it's
yeah.
weird. I don't know.
But
That's an okay motivation. I'm not as behind
It's
it
pretty
as
good.
I am with.
I'll tell you
number
what,
4.
it's pretty good considering we just got done with like the Star Wars sequel trilogy
Yeah,
and how toxic that was. Like, this is a pretty.
Oh, that
pretty
is
good-
true.
this is a pretty
That
good
is
plot.
true, man. Yeah, that
And
actually changed
like I
my
said,
mind a
Star
little
Wars is a heavy influence, I think, on this movie.
yeah.
bit. Yeah,
From the they specifically mentioned Star Wars in the requel explanation.
like somebody would start killing somebody with a lightsaber to change the movies.
Exactly, you got it. You're
Dude, even
killing
though-
it.
Yeah.
Detective
dressed
Matt,
up like Jar Jar Binks.
yeah,
like,
Detective Matt,
bring him back.
Detective
Like-
Matt is on the case again.
Yep, Detective Matt.
Well, even to go,
who uses lightsaber on this guy's dick? Who did this?
I don't know.
This was a crime of passion.
This is a case
Dude.
of the missing dick via lightsaber.
Anyway.
via double lightsaber.
God.
To bring up another like toxic fandom thing, and they kind of bring it. They actually don't bring it up in this at all as far as toxic fandom. But like we've brought this up a million times in the podcast, but the 2016 Ghostbusters,
Yeah,
people are so upset and they're so
Yeah.
nasty about it. And like, if people enjoy it, like
Yeah.
let people enjoy these movies.
that's
Who
what
cares?
I'm saying. Include
It's-
in that box set that's coming out next month.
Yeah, do not. It's not. Are you trying to get the toxic fandom to
Well,
like?
because
to push 'em.
I just re-listened to our Ghostbusters.
Dude,
2
Honto's gonna
episode,
get killed by
Did
a
you?
proton pack now.
and Matt was like going off on me, like that movie doesn't need to exist. And I was like, yeah, it's a
I did
Ghostbusters
not
movie.
say it that way.
Yeah, I was like, just include it.
Jeez.
It's just a movie. Just include it in the box set.
I'll probably watch
whatever.
that movie again at some
And
point.
we're
So
talking
I
like-
want it in the
Yeah,
box set.
I think you were mentioning like Chris was mentioning like they're only going to have a digital code or something.
yeah,
like
it's gonna have a
that.
digital code.
Oh, that's
with
it. Then I even.
That's such
I
a,
think so.
It's like spitting on that movie.
It kind of is.
just
It's
Put a couple dollars.
It
and
is,
make the
but at the
Blu-ray.
same time too, it doesn't follow the canon of the movies. It's
just
like
add the
putting in
movie.
the okay. It's like putting in the, which I'm sure people wouldn't be upset about, the Star Wars Christmas special
Yeah.
into the rest of the Star Wars movies DVDs.
add
And
it.
you're like, why is this
Just
not
add the
included?
movie.
Just add it.
Just add
It's
it.
not really the story,
Or even
but-
like the Ewok movies, the 2 Ewok movies that came out in the 80s.
Do they? Yeah, but do they count?
Yeah, just add it. They have Wicked.
Your
Who
voice
play-
is getting so high.
I know, I'm trying to see if
You're
you guys
like
know that.
you're like a zeppelin, dude. You're like your head's touching the ceiling because you're up so high. Like, don't open the window.
But Warwick Davis, like he reprises his role as Wicket in that movie.
Yeah, but it's like it's weird. It's weird.
I think just
throw it in there.
I
It's
think
not hurting anything.
I love movies. Just add all of the
Yeah.
movies.
All right.
Anyway,
Thanks, Jerry Seinfeld.
did you have any?
What's the deal with these movies not being included?
Did you have any more negatives? It sounded like you had a laundry list.
No, honestly, that was it. I wasn't through. I wasn't feeling the movie for the first half, and then I really
I was-
liked it the second
I was
half.
pretty into it for
Same.
the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even I liked the opening because I thought it was gonna go with the stereotypical opening,
Man.
but it was very reminiscent of the Drew Barrymore one because she thinks she's just talking to somebody she knows.
And this is cool. Like
Yeah.
the slow transition from like the regular guy to like the ghost face.
Yes, yeah.
Because he does it like there's one instance where he goes full ghost face, and then goes back to talking like a normal person.
Yeah.
And then like once it finally goes into it, and you're like, oh wow, like this is kind of cool.
Dude, yeah, I thought it was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I'd say it's one of the better cold opens.
Yeah. It definitely stuck with me. I thought it was fine at first. The more I thought, I was like, oh, that's actually a
You know,
really
I'm
cool
kind of
opening.
surprised too at this point in the series. It's known that they just do multiple killers, right?
Yeah.
That they don't kill off one of the killers halfway through the movie and be like, well,
Right.
the other killer's
Like
still out there.
discover like, oh, end of movie, psych, more people are dying.
Yeah.
More people.
Like David Arquette would have killed the killer in the hospital and be like, this was the killer, but like,
Yeah.
are there more?
Oh, that's cool.
you know?
Yeah. that'd be
What
cool.
they should do, and I was thinking about this recently, if they do another movie and they have multiple killers, they got to have multiple of these guys running around the house like at one time.
Oh, that's intense.
Now they
And
do
you're
it-
like,
they-
oh shit, it's the Three Amigos. Amigos. Yeah.
But like they do it for a second in 4. At one
Do
point
they?
they go to like I can't remember where it's at. She's being chased and she runs from the back door to the front door and the killer's already there.
Oh, it's one of the stab movies.
No,
don't know.
it's
I
in
don't
the
know.
movie.
Yeah.
Like, but they don't. I mean, it's obvious. I know. I agree with what you're saying. There needs to be multiple killers in the same room.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like in that scene, you can kind of tell that there's 2 killers because one's
Okay.
in the back door. She runs from the
Mm.
back door to the front door, and there's another killer there.
Oh,
already.
okay.
But that's like the only time they kind of show that there's like multiple killers.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can kind of figure it out, but they don't
Yeah.
exactly say it to you.
But yeah, I think that would definitely up the stakes. Even if they didn't do that, even if they just had like 3,
Yeah.
that'd be crazy.
Or they could just do something really crazy. Quit marketing this costume, man.
Yeah.
Quit making it.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, there wouldn't be that many killers.
That's true. That's true.
Then
Yeah.
some asshole would have to make their
Or
own cosplay version.
basically retire the costume where it's like no longer manufactured and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the movie kind of ends with, I think, a very strong ending because one, you find out that both twins are alive, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's a really cool, like,
Yes.
especially when you think the brother was dead and they kind of give like a thumbs up to each other. I think it's an awesome,
Yeah.
like,
I was
they're
like,
okay.
I was very pleased that he made it out.
Yes, same. And then I love the whole the main character like approaching Sydney and Gail and be like, "Hey, well, I'll be okay." And then Sydney like is cool. She's like,
nah.
she's like it's cool because she's like eventually, yeah. Like, and I think it's like a cool like thing for like trauma. Like it's
Yeah.
a cool. I think it's a cool way to end
Yeah,
that.
that was cool.
And then it ends the exact same way the first one does.
Camera pans out and you get your end credits.
Moby plays.
Yeah.
And then
I think all these, no, except for the 4th movie, all of them
Yeah.
pretty much end with the
Moby song.
camera.
I know 2
Panning
does. I cannot think of 3.
No, 3 is just the door.
4 doesn't because it's Emma Roberts inside
Yeah, 3
the
doesn't because it's her outside of her ranch, and then she just leaves the door.
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Scream 5, aka Scream.
Real quick, I
Oh.
feel like we had a massive Easter egg
Yeah.
with this actress who is one of the killers.
Okay.
Mikey Madison, who plays Amber.
Yeah.
When she gets killed. She gets killed horrifically
Yes.
in this movie. And it's very similar to the death that she experiences in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
So
Yes.
you mentioned that blew my mind. I knew she looked familiar.
Oh, I knew her from the
I
jump.
couldn't think who it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like almost a joke how ridiculous
Because
everything happens.
she's like wailing around like, ah!
Yeah.
And you're
Oh,
like,
I geeked.
I was
geeked in
laughing the entire
audience,
time. I was
yeah.
like, this is crazy.
Dude, it is brutal.
But yeah, just like, yeah, it's just these killers, I think, get it probably the worst out of everybody.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think
in the
so too.
entire franchise.
Yeah, deservedly so.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, it does bum me out that the boyfriend was the killer because I liked him. I thought he was a
feel
cool
like
character.
I knew it was going to be him.
You know who knew it was
from
him?
from the jump.
Dewey, man. They were sitting in that
Yeah.
trailer, and Dewey was like, "Look at the loved one." He's like, "It's always the loved one."
Yeah.
And then he looked at him. He's like, "It's not me." And he's like, "It's
Yeah.
always the loved one." So like, he like called him out right
and
there.
He says, yeah, Dewey was right. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. But I feel like just having watched The Boys, because he's like a super nice character, like in that show.
Yeah.
I feel like when I saw it, I was like, it's probably gonna be him.
Yeah.
Like just knowing like they're not going to have him play another nice guy.
Well, you
Sure.
know, I think what they did really great is they set him up to act like he didn't know anything about the stab
Which is
movies.
awesome.
100%.
So
That's-
throughout the entire movies, he's watching YouTube videos on him. He's watching the movies
so
on
that's
Netflix.
where I kind of started faltering, or basically falling off that theory.
Yeah.
Where I was like, okay, like he's doing a little too much research.
But also he's out of the town. He's not in the town. Like they had to
The oth-
drive to the town.
Yeah, which makes it even. Yeah.
and the other red
Yeah.
herring is like she only met him 6 months ago. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
it's like, okay.
So that's probably why in the first, I'll say attack, because the girl doesn't die in the very beginning. That's probably the girl killer,
Yeah, absolutely.
because
also,
the
it's-
boyfriend is with her sister
Out of the
out
city.
of town.
Yes.
Right.
and also
in
there's that
another city.
video footage on Tara's cell phone, which is
Yeah.
like, your friend's gonna die,
Yes.
and it's probably Jack Quaid filming
yes.
while the Amber's in the room, basically.
Yeah. Why doesn't she kill her in the opening scene?
To draw Samantha back into
Yes.
town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And does she just leave her there? Or
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
So
And there's a
Um,
couple moments where like they I don't know what what they're trying to do. There's a part where I think one of the killers is stabbing one of the twins and then kind of gets scared off and runs away. I don't know what they're trying to do.
Oh yeah. The car pulls up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
is that the one you're talking about? The brother?
Where he gets the brother.
The
he gets,
sister's getting stabbed, and then
Oh, the sister. Okay.
I think either Sam or Tara walks in on it
Okay.
happening, and the killer looks back and then like kind of like runs away. Yeah.
I had to watch it again. I didn't catch
Okay.
it. But
okay.
so I guess the fourth movie in the series was supposed to start off a new trilogy.
Okay.
Now, obviously, that did not happen. Do you think? I know we kind of talked about the beginning, but do you think this is going to start off a new trilogy, or do you think this is?
I
it?
think it could potentially start off a new trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Obviously, money talks. So
Yeah, and I think it'd be smart to not do the Star Wars route and bring in old characters and just let those characters retire,
Mhm.
leave them alone.
New
Uh,
cast.
New cast.
Yeah.
We don't need to bring in Luke and Leia.
These,
and slowly kill
These
them off.
the remaining cast from the other movies are looking a little weary. They're the little battle weary. They've
Yeah.
seen too much now.
Yeah,
like-
digital cameras.
What's that? Oh yeah, yeah,
Digital cameras, because
Yeah.
it's like I'm sure that Scream 4 was shot in film.
yeah,
Look a little bit better.
yeah.
And then because it's weird because you talk about the gap between 3 and 4 is 10 years.
and then it's just 10 years.
And they look good in 4.
Yeah.
And then the gap between 4 and 5 is 10 years. And I'm like, man, it looks like it's been a long time.
You think so?
Yeah, like they
Yeah.
look. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of them look really, really good for their age.
Yeah.
I think they all look really
But they
good for their
definitely
age.
do look older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if like I said, I don't know if I want a trilogy out of it. Okay, so like with Ghostbusters Afterlife being a hit, I want more Ghostbusters because there's a million stories you can tell about busting ghosts.
Yeah.
With the Scream thing, like end it. Like you got a solid ending to a series. End it, please. Like,
Honestly, and if they don't make make Neve Campbell the killer,
no,
It will never happen.
it would
Just make her
ruin
that killer.
It'll ruin the rest of the series because
Yeah.
if you go back and watch it, you're always gonna be like, oh, she's gonna be a killer, and like I don't think it would.
yeah.
The rewatch value of that series would not be good.
Yeah.
But like I said, if they make another one, of course I'm gonna go see it.
I
I'm
just
not-
watch more of these dumb movies.
They're not dumb.
Unless Neve Campbell becomes the killer to kill other killers,
So
like
Dexter.
a
Like a
Dexter,
Dexter,
situation.
yeah.
But she becomes a killer to kill the other killers, hiding as the killer's costume, and they're also hiding as the killer's costume too. So it's like,
so
and
there's
then
like,
they both walk next to or walk past in a nice costume.
yeah.
I love June Wall Street.
Yeah, I love you, Walsh.
It's a little hot shots part 2 reference.
Was what he say? Yeah, because they both say "I love you" in Wall Street.
Because I think Charlie Sheen's having like an Apocalypse Now monologue where he's like having a voiceover while like writing in his journal,
Yeah,
and then like the other boat is passing by and it's Martin Sheen, and they both look at each other and they're like, "Loved you in Wall Street," and then that's it. That's just the end of the scene.
that's awesome.
All right, I want to really quick go around. We'll talk about the Rotten Tomatoes score for this, and then I want us to rank the series.
Okay,
So this had at this moment it has a 76% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is a pretty high score. What
Okay.
would you give it, Honto? I'll start off with you.
I'll give it a 75.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you seem like you enjoyed it. You came out pretty enthusiastic.
Step in the right direction for me. That's why I'm kind of like curious in seeing more of these movies because I
Yeah.
like the new cast a lot.
Yeah.
I like that they really upped the game as far as like the kills go.
Yeah.
I think as far as slasher series, like this is the only really slasher series, right?
Yeah,
really
that's
nothing out there.
still going.
Yeah.
I mean, Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Considering how much of a dud that Halloween Kills was.
Yeah.
I think I'd watch more of these movies over Halloween, to be honest.
Well,
I think
If they do something different, they really,
Well,
really
yeah.
need
they
to
did
change
do
up.
something different with
They
this.
did, but they need to change this, like
the overall,
setting
don't do any more
or-
like Woodsboro or like
Yeah.
no more Gale, no more.
let's
Let's
go,
go-
let's go to
stay-
space. Let's go to space.
Yeah.
They have
It's-
every
they have to go to
every
space.
franchise has to go to space.
You know,
Yeah.
at least like 2 was on a college campus and 3 was in Hollywood.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you're
that's
changing,
true,
you're
yeah.
changing the settings and stuff, which
Yeah.
is good.
That's a good point. Well, I think a lot of things, not to cut off your review, but I think a lot of things that helped, and we didn't even talk about, were the directors, who seemed like big fanboys of the series, and they really wanted to pay tribute to Wes Craven.
And they're also VHS veterans.
They are. Which VHS did they direct? I know they did Ready or Not, which came out a year or two ago.
I did not.
One
like
of
that
them did
movie.
Ready or Not.
Oh, one of them did?
Yeah,
Oh,
one
okay.
of them did.
They also did Southbound, which is another anthology.
Did not see that.
It was. It was.
What's
alright.
this? What's the origin story in 1 as far as like Sydney's mom?
Sydney's mom slept with...
Cotton or no?
Sydney's mom slept with Billy's dad,
And then Billy's dad left.
and Billy's dad left, so he blamed Sid, so that's why they killed the mom. Yes.
So who killed the mom?
Billy.
Oh, Billy did, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Did they change it? Okay. 3 changes a lot of things.
Okay.
Because then
I
all of a
don't-
sudden there's a son, and then they were like, I can't remember if they switched the mythology.
I can't remember. I think it's. I
But,
can't remember.
yeah, it's been a while
That
since I've
third
seen. Oh,
movie's
no,
so
no.
stupid.
The brother is the third killer. So he worked with Stu and Billy.
Oh,
I think that's
that's
what
what
it
it
was. I
is.
think that's what it is.
When he was
So-
okay.
When he was 2. No.
I was to say.
But yeah, I think that's what it was. But
one of these directors directed that last. 1 second.
okay.
The last segment of VHS where they break up the seance ritual.
Oh, and they steal the girl.
Yeah, and the girl.
Oh, that's
and
like the
then
best one.
And it's like the train tracks at the
Yeah,
end.
cool.
that one's awesome.
Yeah, that one's good.
I can't figure out if the other director was the same thing.
It's okay. No, I think the directors had a lot of. You could tell they had love for this series, and it wasn't just like a cash grab.
Yeah.
I think they
Yes.
did really good.
That's what I was talking to somebody about
Same-
it
same
earlier because
director.
they asked me what I
Was that-
thought of
yeah.
it. And I said, I was like, honestly, you could tell like the guys who directed it really did love like the franchise, and it's more of like a fan film than anything.
Which I guess makes sense of like fandom
Yeah.
being like a major
Yeah.
thing, plot thread with the motive.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
think that helps a lot.
Yeah. So Honto, you were 75.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 75.
I'm
Okay.
gonna go with Honto's score 75.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Yes, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought the first half was a little too much of the same stuff, and then the second half I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Some good surprises in it. I would watch it again.
I would also watch this again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris.
I'm sure. Man, I own the first Ford. I know there's gonna be some baller box set that comes out.
Hey, don't worry, they're not gonna include it. It doesn't count. It doesn't count.
You put that MTV show on there. It doesn't
Yeah.
count.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It doesn't
Hey,
count, right?
No, include that Scream. I only
It's
watched
Scream.
one. I only watched one episode of that show. It was awful.
Was it bad?
But include it. It's content.
Yeah.
You get more media.
Right. Yeah. I'm not mad. Okay. So, like I said, it kind of shook me up after the whole Dewey thing. So I was like, do I really like this? Yeah, this is a solid entry in the series. I'd give it an 80.
Cool.
Oh, cool.
It's definitely, it was good. I had no complaints about it. I want to go see it again this week,
I
actually.
might go see it again.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go together.
Wow.
I will not. I will stay at home.
Oh, okay. Maybe we won't go together. Yeah, I thought this is great. I thought it paid tribute to everything. Yeah, I thought the references, a la like Ghostbusters Afterlife,
Yeah.
like hear fans, like
Yeah.
the stuff you
Yeah.
love, which is
Yeah.
cool, and that's fun for us. I really have no complaints about this movie. Yeah, 80%, man. This is pretty solid. Score was good. I know they got a different person to score this film, which
Oh yeah.
I like the score.
Who was the composer for the other one?
Marco.
Beltrami?
Beltrami,
Yeah.
Yeah. This one was Brian Tyler, who did looks like a bunch of big budget like Thor, Dark World, Iron Man 3, Avengers Ultron.
Oh wow.
No, I don't think. Never mind.
Oh,
Keep-
did
keep
you
going.
live out all that?
Well, 'cause when I saw Age of Ultron, I was like, no, Danny Elfman did that.
Did he do Age of Ultron?
Yeah, I think
didn't
so,
know
yeah.
that. Oh, okay. Yeah, but I
which-
thought.
go ahead.
I was gonna say I thought the score was good. I thought it looked really good. I loved like the fan service, like I said, was great. Yeah, I thought it was a great addition to the series. What do you got, Matt?
What's your ranking?
Okay, so if I had to rank, this will probably change. 1, 2, 1, 2, 5, 4, 3. 1, 2. Yes, I'm gonna go with 1, 2, 5, 4, 3.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
Honto, what do you got?
I might actually do 1, 2, 5, 4, 3.
You do as well.
I was thinking maybe 1, 5, 2, 4, 3.
Okay.
But I don't know.
I like 2 a lot.
I like
2's,
two.
I
I
know
like
I'll
2.
watch 2 again.
Yeah.
And even if it's
It's just tough because I've seen 2 way more times than I've seen this 5th movie. So I can't quite.
okay, yeah, that's a
I
good
can't quite
point.
make
Yeah.
a decision off.
I think it's valid. I'm gonna kind of Matt. Can I guess yours?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say Matt's is 1, 5, 2, 3, 4.
That is correct.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
this is the
You think? Oh yeah, yeah.
this
I
is the
guess that makes
second
sense.
best in the series.
yeah.
I initially did not like 2 when I watched it for the first time back when it came out. I did not 3 I actually did like when it came out.
Okay.
But on rewatching with the podcast, it was not the best. And I really hate 4.
I can tell,
Yeah,
man. I
I
can
really
tell.
Like I
like
said,
4.
I think from the last episode, only that third act is really worth the time
It is
before.
literally they've reached that well is dry.
It's
by the, time
the
they get to
final
4.
destination 4 of the franchise.
Yeah.
Wait, final. Oh yes. Okay. I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where that's like the 3D one,
Yes.
which I think I mentioned in the last episode. 3D is always like the
Yeah.
worst.
It just
you know.
they just did not have anything to do in that 4th one. They're like it's another.
But yeah,
entry.
even like the main motive or
Are we talking
plot
about final or Scream?
4.
yeah, I don't know.
I'm getting confused
I don't
now.
care
I'm
about
talking
Final
about Scream
Destination.
4.
Oh, okay.
Even with the motive of like Final Destination 4, they kind of like dropped the ball really hard on like capitalizing on like the technology aspect
Yeah.
of the motive or whatever. But like going to 5, it's not bad. They're just they're fans of Stab.
Oh
Like,
man, you totally said final as in 4, and I thought you were talking about Final Destination.
get over it, dude.
No, you said it.
Yeah, but it was just an example. I wasn't talking
Oh,
about.
okay.
I don't want to dedicate any time to Final Destination.
Final Destination 5 is really good.
I don't care about
That's
that
actually
series.
pretty
That series
decent.
sucks ass.
Anyways, I would watch 2 and 3 again.
Okay.
I don't want to watch 4 again. I did not like 4 when it came
I would
out. I
watch-
don't like 4, and I just watched it like 2 hours ago,
Man, this is intense.
or an hour ago.
I'd watch 1, 2, and 5
I-
again.
Really, I think 1 is damn near bulletproof.
Yeah,
And I think 5 was honestly the most entertaining entry.
yeah.
And since
I
1.
agree. I agree.
And I thought they really it's the fanboy thing.
Mhm.
It's coming from fans. They kind of had they had something more to say with it.
It could be just you're getting a whole different take
Yeah.
on it from a different creative aspect, basically.
Yeah.
So that might help.
So yeah, I highly recommend. I'd watch it again.
Cool. I'm glad everybody dug it. I know Matt for sure was dreading going to the movies.
I mean,
Yeah,
to the
'cause-
point where he's like, I'm not going to be on the episode for 4. I don't want to see 5.
Yeah,
and then
because
he
I
was
don't
on the
want to
episode
watch.
for 4,
'cause
and
I-
he saw the movie.
I had just watched 4.
Yeah.
That was the last one I saw in theaters, and I was like, man, it's 4. It's just gonna be 4, but this one's called 5. And I don't feel like watching 4.
Missed
again.
opportunity. They didn't replace the S with the 5 in the title.
Oh, so instead, are you saying so? It'd say Freem.
Somebody frame.
I'm gonna frame.
One thing I did read was part of the
Framing
reason.
trees.
That's
Now I'm
dated.
trying to think of stuff that has scream in it.
I'm not. I know Matt's not going to listen to me at this point.
Yeah,
He's just
I'm,
thinking of
I'm
things.
tapped out right
Morgan
now.
Freeman.
What? That's just Morgan Freeman.
One thing I read about the title was that
Cookies and Freem.
oh my gosh,
Cookies and Freem.
Yeah.
it's Peaches and Freem.
Oh, sorry, Peaches and Freem.
They called it Scream because if they called it Scream 5, then they wouldn't. It would be a bunch of people like, oh, I haven't seen the first 4. I'm not going to go see it.
Okay.
But they called it Scream because it's a sequel. Plus, you can walk in without knowing anything. Do you
Yeah.
think you could walk in knowing nothing about the previous movies?
No.
No.
Oh, actually, yeah.
No.
Yeah, because they don't really make references to the previous movies at all.
Yeah, but who are
outside
these
of
characters that they're bringing into the fold?
But I think that's the whole thing with like Star Wars. They do it with all of them now.
Yeah, but it's still you still got to see they make heavy references to the other trilogy.
They do. No, they don't. That's what I'm saying. They don't make.
They do. It's
Like-
the main plot of the entire trilogy.
No, you're talking about the trilogy. I'm saying that like this movie doesn't make any references to the other movies.
They talk about all these like the experiences and all that stuff and all like the the Dewey's death would be like kind of pointless. Be like, oh, who's that old man that just died?
Kind of. I mean, like, watch
I think
it.
you
when
can
you go,
still watch
when you
it.
watch it again. see if they make any references to like 1, 2, or 3 in it. And if they don't, like it's kind of like then it does.
Then your money back.
Your money is then.
The only thing I will compare it to is Ghostbusters, because that does feel like you can know nothing and it's a standalone story. But then if you want to go back and watch the other two, like you like, oh, this is the connection they had. So.
Hence the reboots. Hence why they're not putting number 5 next to the title or
exactly.
any number next to any.
And now
reasons.
I get it why they're not putting Halloween 13 on Halloween 2018, because you can watch it as a standalone. So I'm starting to get this one name title thing. Now,
yeah.
I wasn't ecstatic about it first. Now I get it.
It's called a trick. It's called a trick.
I think
it's called a trick into making you watch the wrong movie.
Yeah.
I think it's clever marketing. Although we don't need 3 movies just called Halloween.
But be kind of cool is if somebody made a movie now that they made a movie as if there were like that if there were 9 of them. But there's actually not, you know what I mean? Like there's a backstory there, as if there's like there's like, or say a trilogy's worth of backstories, but there actually isn't a trilogy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What's the point of this?
Like if they made a movie like that now, where it's like it has like, oh well, all this stuff has happened to me before. Like,
so you're making a movie where like David Arquette comes back, and then like they make a big deal like he's back.
Yeah.
But then you're like, what movies?
Exactly,
like,
and then it can talk about it a little bit throughout the movie. It'd be like kind of
cool
story
cool.
structure.
That's kind of cool. I actually like that. Yeah. I didn't get it at first, but I understand. I like it.
Right.
I hope as they like continue killing these like these characters from the other entries, I hope like characters see their reflection in like giving them advice, like life advice, like don't die how I died, being up close to the killer, shoot him from far away.
It's like the cameraman from Scream 2. He's like
30-second delay.
That's first one.
Oh man,
I like your joke better though. That's all he says to him. 30 seconds.
It's him looking backwards. 30-second delay. It's him getting killed as he's already dead. So he gets sliced again. He's like, oh!
That's so morbid. All right. That's Scream 2022. High recommend from all 3 of us.
Yeah.
Much like Matt gave 4 a high recommend.
He loves it.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much for letting me finish out the Scream series. Much like we did the Ghostbusters series, and much like we'll soon do the Back to the Future series.
Yeah, you just and the 3 Ninja series.
And the 3 Ninjas. Speaking of, good segue.
I can't get my Ernest movies on here, but we're gonna cover the 3 Ninja movies.
Wait till next January. Wild card.
Honestly, I think in the summer we should do another wild card.
This is a fun.
It's been nice to mix up the. Yeah. But no, speaking of 3 Ninjas, Honto's got a wild card pick that's going to end January. Honto, what is this movie?
3 Ninjas Kick Back. Hiya from 1994. Honto gave us about 35 movies he wanted to cover. Much like all of us, we were like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And he narrowed it down to this movie. So we've all seen it. Matt says he hasn't seen it in almost 30 years. This is probably accurate, which is insane to think because he was born 30 years ago.
33 years ago.
So that ran out January, and then February will be Black History Month. If you have any requests or any comments or anything at all, if you were to just say hi, you can hit us up.
We should. Are we announcing what we're doing for February? Like, what are?
I think we should certainly reveal.
Not movies, but we could actually.
because I think we all agreed on this, right?
Yeah, I think we're set.
Yeah, I think we're good.
So we always try to do Black starring movies in February, and we came up with the theme of Black superhero movies. And you're probably thinking like, well, you've already done, Hancock and Spawn.
Black Panther.
And Black Panther.
And please God, don't do Meteor Man.
And don't do Meteor Man. Well, we got 3 solid picks.
Yeah, this is actually a really solid month that this is all on Chris. Chris kind of pulled this out of his ass.
Man, we're just letting him pick all the movies.
Yeah, stop.
Ghostbusters, Scream.
At one point he just brought it up because the way we talk about doing picks, it's like all of a sudden like we bring up a subject. And then all of a sudden we have like 3 in our head immediately. Mm-hmm. Chris just brought this up and I was like, wow, those are all really 3 like great movies that I can't wait to talk about.
And it's kind of a shame because it's not like we have dozens and dozens of black-led superhero movies to pick from.
Yeah.
So we had to kind of look for them, unfortunately. But we found 3 pretty solid movies to talk about. And I'm very excited to talk about them. So if you have any comments, whatever you want to talk about, hit us up on Facebook or you can email us at
cinemacallpodcast@gmail.com or leave us a message on anchor.fm.
And as always, thank you so much for listening to this. We love doing it. We hope you love listening to it. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Honto.
And we'll see you next time.